Imagine this. You're an A-list Hollywood superstar, riding high on decades of success. Then out of nowhere, you get hit with a $1.7 million lawsuit claiming your blockbuster movie was stolen from someone else's work. That's exactly what happened to Will Smith when a sci-fi author sued him and the makers of Gemini Man, claiming they had ripped off his novel. But in a dramatic legal twist, a federal judge has just ruled in Will's favor, dismissing all claims against him. So was Gemini Man really a stolen idea? Why was Will sued in the first place? And how did he walk away unscathed? The full story is deeper than you think. The lawsuit that threatened Will Smith. It all started with Kissinger Sibanda, a science fiction author who claimed that Gemini Man wasn't an original concept at all. Sibanda alleged that the film copied key elements from his 2011 novel, The Return to Gibraltar, a story about an African-American protagonist who was cloned and used in a secret time travel experiment without his consent. The lawsuit pointed out that Gemini Man follows a similar premise, about a government assassin being hunted by a younger clone of himself. Coincidence? Sibanda didn't think so. He also claimed to have shared a copy of his book with Will Smith's stunt double in 2012, which, according to him, is how Hollywood got hold of his idea. But there was one big problem. He didn't remember the stunt double's name. Even more interesting, he also claimed that copies of his book had been sent to one of Hollywood's biggest talent agencies, suggesting that powerful industry insiders had access to his work before Gemini Man was completed. With all this evidence, Sibanda believed he had a strong case. But Hollywood wasn't backing down without a fight. Will Smith wasn't the only one named in this lawsuit. Alongside him, Skydance Productions, Gemini Pictures, Paramount Pictures, and producer David Ellison were also accused of stealing Sibanda's intellectual property. Hollywood's response? They denied everything. In November 2024, Will Smith and the studios hit back with their legal defense. First, they pointed out that Gemini Man had been in development since 1997, long before Sibanda published his book in 2011. Back then, actors like Harrison Ford, Nicolas Cage, and even Clint Eastwood were considered for the lead role. But the technology to pull off the young clone effect just wasn't advanced enough. So if Gemini Man had been in the works for over 20 years, how could it have stolen a story from a book written 14 years later? Hollywood's lawyers also argued that this wasn't Sibanda's first lawsuit over the film. He had actually filed a similar lawsuit in the past, but it was dismissed because he hadn't properly registered his copyright before taking legal action. Now, after fixing that issue, he was back in court, hoping for a different outcome. But was his case strong enough this time? A federal judge made a major ruling, dismissing all claims against Will Smith. That meant Will was no longer part of the lawsuit, but here's the catch. The case wasn't over entirely. While Will was cleared, the lawsuit against the production companies, Paramount, Skydance, and others, was still alive. So why was Will let off the hook? According to court documents obtained by In Touch, the judge found that there wasn't enough evidence to hold Will Smith personally responsible for any copyright infringement. Yes, he was the star of the movie, but that didn't mean he had anything to do with writing, developing, or producing the script. So while the legal battle continued for the studios, Will Smith got to walk away completely free, without paying a single dollar in damages. Now here's the million-dollar question. Was Gemini Man actually stolen from The Return to Gibraltar? The truth is, Hollywood has a long history of movies sharing similar ideas. Take The Matrix and Dark City, for example. Both films feature a hidden reality controlled by mysterious forces. Yet, they were developed separately, or A Bug's Life in Ants, two animated films about worker ants rebelling against oppression, released in the same year. Science fiction stories about cloning, secret experiments, and identity struggles have existed for decades. And even if Gemini Man and The Return to Gibraltar share some themes, it would be incredibly difficult to prove that Hollywood directly stole from Sibanda's book, especially with Gemini Man's long development history dating back to the 90s. The final verdict. While Will Smith has been cleared of all charges, the lawsuit isn't over yet. Kissinger Sibanda can still pursue his claims against Paramount, Skydance, and the other production companies. But winning a copyright case like this? That's an uphill battle. Hollywood has deep pockets and powerful lawyers, and proving idea theft, especially in a genre as broad as science fiction, is one of the hardest things to do in court. So, while Gemini Man may have bombed at the box office, Will Smith just scored a massive legal win, walking away from this lawsuit completely untouched. What do you think? Did Gemini Man steal from the Return to Gibraltar? Or was this just another case of Hollywood coincidences? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.